Taurus, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it, Taurus. Happy birthday season. I hope you're having a fabulous celebration. I hope you feel honored, loved, supported for the amazing person that you are. It's been interesting this Taurus season. We've definitely had a heightened fire element, lots of fire energy, right? A lot of planets that were in that cluster of Pisces are now moving into Aries, and things have just been amping up a little bit. What I do love is as we're moving towards the end of this week, the earth element is actually enlivening, and I really see this as that earth is able to absorb, kind of soak up some of the excess that we've been experiencing, whether that has been mentally, emotionally, physically, etc. We have some really good energy this week. Like the transits are a little bit funky, they're a little bit wonky, but ironically or not, there's more support than maybe what first meets the eye, right? Sometimes it's easy to kind of get into these Debbie Downer, nothing's working out for me, it's not going to manifest how I want it to, etc. And then it ends up doing so, right? And sometimes part of the name of the game is just figuring out how to not fixate, how to not complain about it, how not to focus on worst case scenario. Sorry, my little sage is going crazy. There we go. And that's all easier said than done, right? Like it just takes a lot of awareness. It takes a lot of practice. And we're kind of going through it with a lot of different people, situations in our life. So it's a lot to manage. It's a lot to juggle. That's why I like to start off with these energy cleansings, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out some of those blocks, limitations that we might be coming into. It's also a really good time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, something on your mind, something you would like spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you would like me to look at your specific situation, what's going on, how it's faring, where it's headed, that type of thing, or if you're just looking for more of a realignment of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're operating from that space of alignment, that's where we're finding our abundance. That's where we're finding our power. And it is through that value of self-love, self-care. So I would love to honor support in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, Taurus, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. This is falling apart, sorry guys. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama love, Mama love. All right, I made a little bit of a mess. It was like all falling apart, but thank you for bearing with me always. Cleansing out the BS, right? All the stuff we don't need. It's definitely been a season of that lately. The Dahlia pops out dignity. A wise man has dignity without pride. A fool has pride without dignity, right? So sometimes, and it's really interesting how the collective energy is really faring out this week, because there is kind of this call to, yes, have like this level of dignity within self, regardless of what people are saying, what they're thinking, how their perspective, how they're feeling about it. It's not necessarily up to them, right? And there is this level of really needing wanting to honor self first, we have a lot of opportunity to do that. We have a lot of support to do that, but it also means that we need to do it in a dignified way, right? That we're not just saying screw you to people, like that we're actually like living out of our power. And I think that's kind of been a difficult thing to do. Friendships, relationships are definitely in focus for you this week, Taurus, especially as like you are going through your birthday season. Connecting with people a lot. There's been some things that we have been allowing, accepting to be around us that might not necessarily be in the highest and best, or it might not be the highest and best for us, is what this is basically saying. Dangerous pleasures. We kind of like this quote by Nietzsche is basically saying that, you know, we need to have those pleasures that might be a little dangerous, but we also don't want to like go over the line. The secret of reaping the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment from life is living dangerously. You know, being able to kind of like toe that line between putting yourself out for new experiences and, you know, opening up to new things, but not letting it suck you into the K-hole, you know? And it definitely looks like you've had to kind of make some adjustments around who and what that looks like in your life. Because there definitely are some people popping up that might not have been for the best, right? Maybe, like, I don't know, I think we're seeing a lot of different sides come out of people lately. The toxic behaviors. Pluto is tensely aspected to Black Moon Lilith, as well as Black Moon Lilith tensely aspected, to Mars and to Mercury as well. And the moon. I mean, she's kind of just playing a lot of games lately and playing games in those relationship dynamics where we end up trusting people that, I don't know, might not have been the highest and best. I mean, I almost feel like you've had someone who's taken advantage of you lately, or maybe like you just turned a blind eye. Maybe you kind of knew. I'm hearing that a little bit. No shade to you, Taurus. But again, choices are in your blocked energy. Choices, knowledge, and illumination. Sometimes we stick our head in the sand, right? Sometimes we don't want all the answers, and not good, bad, right, or wrong. We all do it, right? But it's also kind of been someone or something that has taken advantage of your naivete. I think you're still kind of waiting for some of this to play out. We have been seeing this again all across the board in the collective, where we're getting like these little hints, like these little pop-ups of information, things that are fitting together a little bit more, making more sense, but there still is a lot of unanswered questions is what I'm hearing. And I feel like that's part of why you're waiting. That's part of why you're waiting and watching. I'm hearing you're almost like playing with the energy in a different way, meaning that you are trying a different approach with someone to see how they react, how they respond. You coming in as the Chariot is definitely talking about you being in your power. Them as the Nine of Fire on the defensive, right? They just, you know, they're like preparing for an argument or fight, essentially, is what Nine of Wands is. Oh, there's double confirmation on the Datura. So the Datura is a really interesting flower because it can definitely be very poisonous. It's like that value of like a little bit can be medicinal, but a lot of it can be poison. And definitely this person's energy with the Moon card, they're letting their emotions, whatever has been rubbing them the wrong way over this past little bit, you know, with that cluster of planets in Pisces, they're not really controlling themselves at all. And it's interesting because the more they lose control of themselves, the more you're actually gaining control of yourself, because you're coming in as the King of Pentacles. And that really is the most grounded and stable you can be. Really powerful, Taurus. I love this energy for you. Oh my gosh, dude, you can't get away from it. I don't know. This person is really effing toxic. Remember, dangerous pleasures. That's how we started out the reading. But they have the Moon, they have the Devil. You know, it's things that are seemingly innocent, seemingly sweet, and they're not necessarily so, right? I think once upon a time, this made sense. It seemed like a practical choice, but as you were moving through this, they really kind of showed their true colors that it wasn't the right decision, or like just kind of like I said, just not really caring how their actions and responses represented them as a person or in the relationship, or, you know, even just like how you thought of them, how they thought of themselves, etc. Like they just didn't really care. They didn't really care at all. And you're kind of in this place where, like, again, I think you are gaining more information. It almost seems like you're moving a little bit too slow. Maybe this is just a hard person or individual to cut off. Maybe it is family. We have the Hierophant here, so you can't necessarily cut them off, or you have to do it in a very strategic way. Sometimes we can only set up boundaries, right? And oftentimes it is going to affect how much we show up at family gatherings or, you know, engage with people like this. You know, but I think at the same time, I don't know, this is very enlightening. I think that what you're going through, it's been a huge learning lesson. It's been a huge growth cycle. I feel like you are lamenting a little bit from feeling taken advantage of, feeling really bummed out with how everything has played out. Again, part of you that's still kind of giving them a hall pass a little bit, or still trying to see. But again, like I said, the more that it's not even like you're holding them accountable. It's just like you're being a little bit smarter about how you're handling this situation, and it's exposing a lot of the holes. It's exposing a lot of the limitation. And like I said, I think that's actually a good thing. Yeah, 100% with the Sun here. It's actually, it's allowing healing energy for you. I don't know that this person's situation is really going to get on that bandwagon per se, but this is something that's helping you. Oh yeah, I pulled the line. Leadership. Yeah, stepping into that place of leadership. He encourages us to use our power in service to others rather than domination. And I see that the way that you're navigating this, Taurus, is actually saying that, like, you know, as much as maybe someone did take advantage and did kind of screw you over, or maybe that's how it feels, at the same time, you're like, I'm not going to treat them in the same way. And it's actually helping you gain in wisdom. No mud, no lotus, right? No mud, no lotus. That's what this enlightenment is all about. Unfortunately, it's not the most fun energy. As I'm saying that, Pelican symbolism is optimism. Wah wah, right? Pelican encourages us to enthusiastically forge through life, resting momentarily only to embrace it in earnest once again. Yeah, like if you do need a little bit of a break, obviously take it this week. You know, there is more of an independent energy working well for us, meaning don't pick up anyone else's bullshit or unnecessary responsibility on yourself. Elephant is gentleness. Dedicated to partnership, she reminds us that mindful support coupled with authentic connection can enhance our outcomes. So even if someone else wants to be an asshole, wants to manipulate, lie, you know, kind of engage in bad behaviors, you don't necessarily have to. And I actually don't see you doing that. I see you disappointed. I see you not liking how things have gone, wishing it had been a little bit different, but then also making those choices to stand in your power. It might take a minute. It might not be this week because it's a rough one for you. But at the same time, you're headed in that direction. You're definitely headed in that direction, and you're ready to be done. Okay, so coral is connected to community. Again, in partnerships, we cultivate reassurance. In collaborations, we are confident and prosperous. But that is also meaning the right collaborations, right? If people are not willing to work with us or want the control and are limiting reciprocity because of it, then that is kind of like a red flag. Right? We don't want to necessarily just work with other people because that's what we should do. It's working with the right people in the right way. And right now in the astrology, that is definitely highlighted through the people situations that are willing to work together, right? That are willing to find, even if it is a tense environment, whatever, it's the people that are willing to like go to the drawing board, talk about it, have the rough conversations and find solutions versus the ones that are dictating dictating, dominating, trying to control how the narrative plays out. That's not going to get anyone very far. So with that in mind, Taurus, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for your time, energy always. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I'd love to hear or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.